Today we're ranking 1-drops for days. In black, we're gonna start it off with Black Zero's Carrion Feeder. Now this is a black 1/1 zombie. Carrion Feeder can block. Well, that sounds sad at first, but then you have to read on. Because it actually has one of the most broken abilities of all of Magic the Gathering. Because for 0 mana, no other investment other than sacking a creature, you can put a +1/+1 counter on Carrion Feeder. Now that doesn't sound like a whole lot at first, but in fact, it's a free sack outlet. I mean, there are some cards, enchantments like Goblin Bombardment, which have complete value, not only for like pinging things. Let's get Goblin Bombardment up here. Goblin Bombardment. It's hard to find a sack outlet out there that, you know, costs nothing. It's hard. There's not a whole lot of them. And for 1 mana, you can't go wrong. That is incredible value. All right, 1 mana for a 1/1 easy sack out. And it gets bigger for everything that you sacrifice to this thing. This is easily S tier. It has been S tier many times in the past. It has seen a lot of play. If it were, whoops, we gotta zoom out. Get out of here. Too close for comfort. Let's move our Carrion Feeder all the way up there in S tier. Definitely seen a lot of play. A lot of zombie decks. Saw a legacy play for like, I don't know, a week or something like that. Don't underestimate Carrion Feeder. All right, next up, let's go with Bean Pot's Blood Pet. We got the... Isn't that a sad card? It's like black 1/1, sacrifice Blood Pet to add a singular black mana to the mana pool. Was that like good at one time ever? I want to say like people back in the day loved their Blood Pet. It was like Ramp. It was the Black Llanowar elves. You just had to send it to the graveyard to get its value. That's the way of black. You die to get what you need. I don't like it. C tier. It does have that mana ramping ability, but by today's standards, I mean, it's also a free... It's a free sack outlet of one thing. It will sacrifice itself. It's like Simian Spirit Guide, right? Not really. The pro to Simian Spirit Guide is like you spend no mana to get a mana. It's like Lotus Petal. You know, this is not Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal costs 0 for a reason. You know, Lotus Petal... Here we go. You got a lot of lotuses up here. I want the petal. Where's the petal here? There we go. I go this far for Lotus Petal. 0 mana. Sack it to get 1 mana of any color your mana pool. This costs 1 mana to get 1 mana. So anyway, not exactly a big ramper in my opinion. Maybe people from 1996 will disagree. Sees Tommyson loves their Blood Pet. Want to see it sacrifice? Yeah, well, okay. It's a Thrall. You can make it work in a Thrall deck. We got our first super chat from Rated Lex. Ashnod, the Flesh Mechanist is a good cheap commander at 1 mana? It is 1 mana! Holy crap! They're making 1 mana commanders out here. And this thing's still loaded with text. The power creep, people, the power creep. It's a 1/1 human artificer with death touch. So, you know, come at me, bro. Whenever Ashnod's Flesh Mechanist attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, create a tapped Power Stone token. And also pay 5, exile a creature card from your graveyard. Create a tapped 3/3 colorless zombie artifact creature token. That thing's amazing! So, I mean, it's good on defense. It can create an army. You do need a lot of mana for it, but you're on your way. How do Power Stone tokens work? This mana can't be spent to cast a non-artifact spell, so it's only for artifacts. What's the point of these cards? You gotta build around it a little bit. I actually don't know how good or bad this card is. I am going to be safe and say A tier. I love the card. Love it. Nice card. Could be S tier. I've never seen it in action, though. Problem is, if you even make it as your commander, you gotta be a mono black. That's not bad, but that's not great either. You know, like, what are you gonna do? Starfire with Death Shadow. Oh, we're coming up with some heavy hitters here. Death Shadow. Did any commander play? Like, when I say Death Shadow to commander players, does that mean anything to you? Do you care? Because this card absolutely is absolute stone trash in commander. Like, you have 40 life. This thing's never going to be anything You basically have to somehow wipe your entire life total out for this card to even have a chance at being like a 13-13. And what is that going to do against your opponents? It's going to do squat. But in one-on-one Magic, it's absolutely broken. You have any idea how easy it is to get under 13, like getting under 13 life? Fetch, shock, Thoughtseize. Fetch, shock again. Pay 2 life with like Ataxian Probe, Street Wraith. There were many ways over the history of Magic the Gathering. And then all of a sudden you can't deal with like a 7/7/8/8 creature very well. And it's for only 1 mana. Near unplayable in EDH? Come on, let's just be honest. It is unplayable in EDH. That is like, if you can make Death Shadow work in EDH, I don't know, are you playing with some sort of like Rule 0 where everyone's life total is at 15 or something? I don't know. Hey everyone, just for fun, you want a Rule 0 that we all start at like 10 life? Or turn 1 Death Shadow. Or start at, I guess if you make a deck, yeah, I don't know how you make a deck around this thing. It'll never be good. Okay, that being said, because it does have a supremely competitive format where it is broken in almost every format, Legacy, Modern, we put it at S tier. Very, one of the strongest 1-drops out there. Okay, next up, we've got a super chat from Pacers fan forever, Putrid Imp. Not the most powerful card, but a pretty good enabler. I mean, this card has one job only. Reanimator decks. Enable your reanimate spell. Black 1/1, free discard outlet. Well, maybe not entirely free. You spent 1 mana on the card, but it is a zombie imp. And it gains flying until end of turn. Threshold. As long as there are 7 more cards in your graveyard, Putrid Imp gets +1/+1 and can't block. As if that would even matter. But when you see this, when this card comes into play, you better believe the game just started. It's going to go from like 0 to 100 in a blink of a second. Because it has 1 job only, just dump like really big creatures and reanimate them on turn 2. It's actually a really good enabler for those strategies. Can't say that it stood the test of time. Still good in cube. I'll give it an A tier. This is a weird card where, like, if you showed this to a newbie, they were like, this card sucks. And they'd be partially right, but in the right deck, it is quite strong. Oh, I love this one by King Ginger. Cabal Therapist. I'm assuming this card sees no play in Commander. It's 22 cents. It's a black 1/1 with Menace, and people are like, oh my god, is this Cabal Therapy? Which is like just a staple in, just Magic the Gathering in general. I'm sure that also they play Cabal Therapy in Commander. But this is the creature, and it's really restricted. It's a horror with Menace. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may sacrifice a creature. When you do, choose a non-land card name. Then target player reveals their hand and discards all cards with that name. Way too clunky. It didn't work whatsoever at all. No one wants to play this card. Say at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase. So if you play this on turn 1, it's stone cold useless. Because you're already in the middle of your pre-combat main phase. You gotta wait till next turn to sacrifice this. Your opponent has all the time in the world to either kill it or just say, all right, go gamble and try again. It doesn't even have flashback, and that was the soul of Cabal Therapy. I mean, I guess the idea is you play several creatures. When is that gonna happen? You play your creature on turn 2, you play your creature, then you play this turn 1, play a random creature on turn 2, you still haven't therapied squat. It's not even an irrelevant creature type, it's a horror. Useless to the horror decks. I'm gonna give it D tier. I mean, this card was a disgrace. They tried to spoil Modern Horizons 1 with this card. Little they know, that card absolutely did nothing. Absolute squat. Okay, next up. Let's look at David Sampson's Viscera Seer. I never know if I'm pronouncing this card right. You could name it Viscera Seer, Karaseer. I'm just going with Viscera. We have a black 1/1 Vampire Wizard. Good for the Vampire decks. Good for the Wizard decks. Sack a creature, scry 1. You like both of those abilities. Again, free sack outlet. A lot of infinite combos are enabled by just sacrificing things for free. Also get to scry, so even if you don't actually combo off, you get to dig for absolute more gas. And it's a 1-drop that can be played. Very easy to tutor out. Very easy, very, very good stuff. Very, very nice sack outlet. Viscera as in visceral. You know what? You didn't help me, Dem. You didn't help me. Can't say this is the most busted card of all time. I'm willing to give it... Probably Putrid shouldn't be so damn high up here. I'm gonna give it 8 tier. It's a very, very nice card, though. Very, very nice card. Viscare. It means blood. Yeah, I'm not a medical expert. No, I have no medical background. Cannot pronounce. Don't know anything about medicine. Can't pronounce Viscere either. Okay, next super chat coming from Blake Mamba. The Fulmire Knight. Fulmire Knight is a black 1/1 with Death Touch, but it's got Profane Insight for a black 2 generic. You draw a card and you lose 1 life for 3 mana. That absolutely... That stinks. I don't like it. You get a 1/1 Death Touch, though, I guess. 3 mana to gain 1 life. It's honestly not going to be the worst card we see all day. At least you get the 1/1 Death Touch. B tier. It's above the Thrall. It's above the... I'm going to give it... It's going to be above the Blood Pet. For the people who are Blood Pet fanatics. Sorry, Fulmire Knight is a little bit above you. Okay, next up, we've got... Stranger Candy with Cultist of the Absolute. In this cult, we are Cultist of the Absolute. Of the Abs. They like to work out. It's a black legendary enchantment. This is not a creature, it's a background. Disqualified. I did say creatures in the title. I did say creatures. Okay, Apocalypse, champion of the Perished. Champion... Oh, no, I want the Perished. Champion of the... Oh, it's Perished. Sorry, it's P-E. It's phonetically similar. They were making a joke. Okay, it's a black 1/1 zombie. Whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Champion of the Perished. It makes me think, does this joke translate to other languages? Like, did they know how to do that properly? Or does it just have a completely different name and it makes no sense and people just understand, like, hey, these are 2 similar cards from the lore, but, like, they don't get the joke. Anyway, it's a 1/1 zombie. Whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, you get a +1/+1 counter on Champion of the Perished. So here's the deal. Like, I'm not entirely sure if zombies even want a card like this. Zombies actually have so many 1-drops that they're not really looking for outright power, but it's still, like, pretty high quality even for a 1-drop. Even if you weren't in, like, going for that zombie sack synergy. Maybe you got to go on for that zombie beatdown. And for that reason, I still think this is a high quality card. I'm going to give it the A tier. I'm going to give it the A tier treatment here. I'm going to squash you in a little bit. I'm sure there's a lot. There's actually a lot of good 1-drops in black. A lot of good stuff out there. Pays fan forever. Did you get sniped? I'm not sure. Well, we're going to donate your super chat. We did this here already. Great card. Okay, in Portuguese, it's close, but don't sound like it at all. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay, we're gonna donate the super chat to Ree with the Blood Celebrant. I swear this is a 2-mana card. Oh, I'm wrong. There was another Celebrant out there, 2 mana. It's a black 1/1 Human Cleric. For a black, pay 1 life. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. This is strictly worse. This is like worse Blood Pet. Did they really have to downgrade the Blood Pet? What am I even taking a picture of here? This is like someone who's here for an This is someone who like got interviewed by 60 Minutes and has their identity concealed. That's what it looks like, the Blood Celebrant. Well, you're worse than Blood Pet, but I don't know if you're worse than the creature... This thing. Alright, Cabal Therapist. I give you... You get the honorary C tier for being absolute crap. This powers up Death Shadow in the absolute crappiest way. Yeah, you can also pay that 1 black for that Death Shadow with the 1 black you get from your Blood Celebrant. Okay, next up, let's look at Paul Rogg. How about a card you've probably never heard of, Entrails Feaster? You're right, I haven't. It's a black 1/1 zombie cat. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may remove a creature card in a graveyard from the game. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on Entrails Feaster. If you don't, tap Entrails Feaster. Well, that sort of sucks. I gotta use my graveyard just so that this thing can even exist. If I don't, I lose. C tier. Zombie cat. Some cats don't die. What makes a cat a zombie? So what, a zombie took a bite out of a cat? Here, let me get you, you cat. And I guess this is where it got bit or something. Something to that effect. Next up, let's look at... We're going to look at Toilet Duck, Ruthless Ripper. Ruthless, you say? We got a black 1/1 human assassin with Death Touch. And it's got Morph! It's got that surprise attack. Well, I have a 3-mana. I got a 3-mana 2/2. It could be anything. Could be absolutely anything. Honestly, it'll probably only work once. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. It also has, when it's turned face up, target player loses 2 life. More draft chaff than anything. I don't think you... It looks like Princess Leia to me. Does anyone see it here? It looks like Princess Leia from Return of the Jedi. Anyway, 1/1 Death Touchers need to be a little bit better than this. I guess! It's in that B tier. Honestly, 1 mana Death Toucher at least has some defensive purposes. I mean, you have it out, no one's going to attack you. Like, and barely anyone plays with the removal these days. They play with sweepers, but not removal. Okay, next up, we got Benovsky, Gravecrawler, the Crawler of Graves. Gravecrawler. We were talking about how good sack outlets are. This card is great at being sacrificed. It's a black 2/1 zombie, can't block, but you can cast Gravecrawler from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie. So it ain't gonna stay down forever. Them zombies, they keep bouncing back. You gotta shoot them right in the head. And then I guess they go to exile. Actually, yeah, hold on. Like, aren't there, like, certain cards, like, the flavor is, like, shoot in the, get him in the head, shoot in the head, shot in the head, or something to that effect? And shouldn't that, like, permanently kill a zombie? That is a flavor fail. Anyway, this card is amazing. It's one of the better 1-drops ever to exist. Because of its ability to keep coming back, you mill it into the graveyard, and also great sack fodder. Gravecrawler is... Like, between Gravecrawler and Carrion Feeder, for each black mana you have, you can make your Carrion Feeder that much bigger. So, excellent card. Blake Mamba with the Vampire of the Dire Moon. How many of these 1-drop? This one is Death Touch and Lifelink. That's right. I knew it. I know my Vampire of the Dire Moon. I've actually had to try to build a few vampire decks, believe it or not. Nikachu has built a few vampire decks. In Modern. Non-Commander. B tier. B tier is like good for blocking. This is the good for blocking tier. Not very good on offense, though. Really crappy on offense. Good on defense, though. Defense, good. Hey, some say a good offense starts with a good defense. I'm not sure if that's the saying, but it sounded good to me at the time. Oh, we got Henrik with the Thieves Guild Enforcer. All I remember with this card, this is a flash creature? Yeah, okay, it's a black 1/1 human rogue with flash. When it enters the battlefield or another rogue enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent mills 2 cards. As long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, it gets +2/+1 and has Death Touch. A little too much work to get online, in my opinion. It's just a flash 1/1 with a little bit of milling. I think that's crap. I'm gonna go to C tier. I think it... I know this card has seen play. Okay, I give it a B tier. I know it's seen play on Arena before. I really just don't want to give it that. This card sort of sucks. Yeah, in the right standard environment, it's good, I guess. Okay, Toads always asks if they're invisible. No, you're not. Disciple! You didn't even spell it right. Of the Vault. Okay, Disciple of the Vault. Black 1/1 human cleric. Whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may have target opponent lose 1 life. If you have an infinite artifact combo, looping things from the graveyard, I mean, this will just win the game on the spot. Otherwise, it can be really good value versus one opponent. If you can deal enough stuff with artifacts and start sacking everything to each other. You know, Hanger Backwalker into Ravager. You got a lot of good synergy over here. Disciple of... Oh, sorry, Disciple of the Vault. I was calling it Disciple for years, and people in the comment section went crazy. You mispronounced something that everyone else knows is true, and they go wild in the comment section, right? It's Disciple of the Vault. Disciple. Took years. I figured it out. Okay, next up, we've got Mario with Concealed Curtains. Concealing. Concealing curtains. Gotta hide that stuff over there. We got a black 0/4 wall. It's got Defender and a black 2 generic. You can transform it as a sorcery, and it turns into the Revealing Eye, a 3/4 menace. When this creature transforms into Revealing Eye, target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do, that player discards that card, then draws a card. This is not the worst thing I've ever seen. This is not that good, though. It is a wall. It's 1 mana for a 0/4. Beef curtains. Does this look beefy to you? That is one beefy eyeball. And what's with the tentacles? What is it, half octopus? It is an eye horror. Nightmare Food. Well, this card is good. The front side sucks, though. Okay, give it, I don't know. Sorcery speed. Everyone can see it coming. It costs 3 mana, though. C. I just gotta go with C here. It's not, this side is good, but the front side sucks. 1 mana for a 0/4, costing 3 more to transform. Basically paying 4 mana for a 3/4. You know what you're doing? You're spending, it's Thought-Knot Seer with Menace. When it transforms, you have a 3/4. Okay, do you know what? Maybe I could, this diversified Thought-Knot Seer, I can give it B tier. I could give it B tier. We're moving it up. We're moving it up. Everyone wants Sleeper Agent. I don't know what the hell this is. Sleeper Agent. Inside joke. I don't know what the inside... We have an inside joke around here called about beef curtains. Okay, we've got Sleeper Agent. It is a black 3/3. Comes into play. Target opponent gains control of it. Why? At the beginning of your upkeep, Sleeper Agent deals 2 damage to you. So basically, we are giving this to somebody to deal damage to them, but they could, in exchange, deal more damage to us. Unless we build a deck that says they can't attack us very well. And then they'll use this card to attack someone else. I like it. It's B tier. I can see the potential. Not broken or anything. I think it does cute things, though. Mono Black Burn loves this. Oh, yeah, true story. I think? Does it work that well in Mono Black Burn? Was that like from a Saffron Olive special? I didn't see many of them. I am aware that there is a Mono Black Burn deck in existence. I have not seen it in action, or played against it either, for that matter. Next up, we got Platonic Liquid with the Changeling Outcast. Isn't this just 1 mana Changeling? And it can't block and can't be blocked. Okay, it is an unblockable Changeling. I can tell you from experience, 1 mana unblockable creature, not very exciting. However, it is better than being sacrificed to add mana, so I'll give it... No effort, we're going C tier. 1 mana unblockable, not good enough. Also can't block. We can't chump block with this damn thing. Okay, next up we've got... let's get one from Christopher B. The Bile something. Bile Urchin? Bile Urchin, a black 1/1 spirit. Sacrifice Bile Urchin. Target player loses 1 life. This is absolute stone cold garbage. I am going to is basically a 1/1 vanilla creature that it's like, you know, it's like Mog Fanatic, but I can't hit my opponent's creatures. I can only hit their face. There's no purpose. It's not, it doesn't have death. Do you know what? It'd be interesting if it had death touch and you have the option to sack it or let it die. And then you'd be in for an interesting conundrum. Actually, I don't like it, so I like it less than the blood pet. At least you got 1 mana for sacrificing it. Here you got, your opponent lost a whole 1 life. That's not good in any format. Okay, next up we got Black Lance Geo with the Evolved Sleeper. This guy looks familiar to me. It's a black 1/1 human. Pale black Evolved Sleeper becomes a human cleric with base power and toughness 2/2. Also, and you can do this at instant speed. This is not level up nonsense. Alright, so and if for a black 1 generic, if it's a cleric, you can, gains a death touch counter and becomes a Phyrexian human cleric with base power and toughness 3/3. And for 3 mana, if Evolved Sleeper is a Phyrexian, put a +1/+1 counter on it, then you draw a card and you lose 1 life. I can get behind this card. It does a lot. You can spend the mana however you want. You can pass the turn with a bunch of mana up. And if your opponent does nothing, you don't have to do anything. Or sorry, if they do nothing, if they do something, you answer them. If they don't do anything, you pump this thing up. And it's at least card advantage somewhere down the line. So it will replace itself at the very least. I like it. So I'm going to give it the A tier. I like this card. It looks very familiar though. Okay, Lynn, one of my favorites, the Crypt Breaker. Crypt Breaker for 1 black. It's a 1/1 zombie. Pay a black 1 generic tap. Discard a card. We got discard outlets, people. You can discard your Gravecrawler. Put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. I tell you, when you try to build a zombie deck, I don't know how other zombie players feel about this. It just feels like the zombie deck builds itself. Like, he's like, oh, we can discard this to make this work. I can bring that card back. I can then sack that card and get that value, and then I get that creature back anyway. This is amazing. Also, tap 3 untapped zombies you control, draw a card, and you lose 1 life. That is incredible value. You're on blocking duty anyway with a lot of these cards, and as you make a lot of zombies, you start drawing like a lot of cards and really run away with the game. This is a very, very, very strong card. Actually, I've seen a lot of Pro Tour play. I give it S tier. You have been christened S tier. Congratulations, Crypt Breaker. You get the S tier quality. I am spitting facts around here. All right, next up we got Bacon Catbug's Carnophage. It was hyper aggressive back in the day. I know. Not so good anymore. So back in the day, a 1 mana 2 power creature, that was broken. That's why have you ever heard of Savannah Lions? No one played Savannah Lions today. But back then, it was good because it was 1 mana 2/2. Now, the downside to Carnophage is at the beginning of your upkeep, you gotta tap it unless you pay 1 life. So, I mean, either you're not attacking with it, or you are, and you're gonna get pinged by it. Has aged very badly. Very, very, very badly by today's standards. No one wants this card anymore. C tier. Better than Cabal Therapist. Better than Cabal Therapist. Alright, we're gonna look at way more cards that you can get at 1 mana. 1 mana black creatures, but we gotta thank our sponsors today, FusionGamingOnline.com. Today's deal of the week, save 20% off all Magic promos. You can get promo Snapcaster Mage, promo Goblin Welder, promo Sword of Fire. Ooh, that is a very nice Sword of Fire. Nice. I love the old border in foil. And when you do so, you can also get cards from the latest sets like Murders at Karlov Manor. And if you do, you will be supporting the show. You also support yourself when you use coupon code Nikachu at checkout to get 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank ManaTrade. It's the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Did you know you can play Commander online? You can't do it on Arena, but you can on Magic Online. It's really janky, but it works. All right, and you can rent any deck that you could possibly want when you're renting with ManaTraders. So don't let your imagination be reduced by your card pool, because you have access to the whole card pool with ManaTraders. And you can support the channel using my ManaTraders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_ZWX for great justice. All right, what we got next here? Do we have a super chat here? Blake Mamba and Star say Cauldron Familiar because they love the cats. You better believe it. That's funny, actually, this card... Okay, so we're going to donate one of these super chats to the crowd. Cauldron Familiar, black 1/1 cat. Honestly, if you showed me this card, I would think, wow, this card is just nonsense. Who cares? It's not worthy of even talking about. But I do know that this has already been broken in half by many decks. It's a black 1/1 cat. Enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. And you sacrifice a food. Return Cauldron Familiar from your graveyard to the battlefield. Like, what is so wrong with that? Now, this card is actually so broken with, what is it called? Witch's Oven? I think that's the card. I don't really like the idea of the flavor. We are taking the cat and we are putting it in the oven. Sack a creature, create a food. And then if the sack creature's toughness was 4 or greater, create 2 foods. But no, that's okay. We just need 1. Because every food that we make, we get this card back onto the battlefield. Great value. Anyway, they had to errata this card. It can't block anymore. Before it could block. Okay, so what is it now? It can't block. When Cauldron Familiar enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Sack of food. Yeah, okay, so we do get everything left, but you can't block with it. So no chump bloxies and then pinging people for a singular damage here. It's almost like, what's it called? This other card. What did we look at a little while ago? It was not Blood Pet. It was something that's sacrificed for 1 life, but this is repeatedly. Well, we're not. Anyway, the neutered one is not very interesting, not very impressive. Cauldron Familiar. Where do I put this? By itself, it sucks. I mean, you could say that about a lot of cards here. I guess it has to be S tier. I mean, this is like a borderline banned card because they had to errata the damn thing. They had to errata it. Okay, next up. We're gonna go with Julio. Gruul Draz Assassin. Sorry, is it Ghoul? Draz Assassin? Or is it Gruul? No, it's Ghoul, not Gruul. It's not a green-red card. Okay, we have a black Vampire Assassin. It's a 1/1, but you can level it up for 2 mana. And you have to level it up twice, so you need to sink 4 mana, turn into a 2/2, where for a black and tapping it, a target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. And get this, if you've sunk 8 mana into this thing to get to level 4, it can then pay a black tap so that target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. I think this card is so sad. I don't think this is impressive at all. This card is like, the Razi Eldrazi promo is like $4. I guess it's just a $1 card. I am not excited about this. That's a lot of mana. By the way, you gotta level up at sorcery speed. If it was instant speed, I'd sort of understand, but it's like not very. It's not instant speed. It's sorcery speed. Yeah, go to the C tier. It goes to the C tier. Okay, next up. Some 1/2 with Serrated Scorpion. It is a black 1/2 Scorpion. When it dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. Now that is a hell of a lot better than these other cards that we've seen, where you sack and it drains and gains for only 1. Still, it's pathetic. 2 life is 2 life. C tier. I think C tier. It's still not a very big card. It's like a 1/2. 1/2 for 1. It survives, I guess, Bowmaster these days. That's even a thing to even recognize. Balder, welcome. What do you got for us today? The Archfiend's Vessel. All hail, Master of Streams. Thank you very much, Balder. I think it's Archfiend's Vessel. Glad I can sometimes catch you guys type mistakes. Okay, we got a black 1/1 Human Cleric. Oh, you would love this. That's why you're suggesting it. It's got lifelink. All right, we got a little bit of advantage here. Not a very big lifelinker, though. Enters the battlefield. If it entered from your graveyard or you cast it from your hand, graveyard, you can exile it. If you do, create a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying. Oh, damn. I thought we were going to search our library for a demon creature card. Instead, we only get, like, basically for the work of bringing this thing back from the dead, we get a 5/5. It's not phenomenal. It's not terrible. It's B tier. If you use some deck that... do you know what? Okay, so... maybe I don't see the deck, but there are cards that say, like, at the beginning of your upkeep, return this creature from your graveyard to play, and, like, you could keep sacrificing this to make a 5/5 demon every turn. It's a bit clunky, but, like, yeah, I can see that getting incremental value every single turn. Okay, next super chat. Oh, no, that was a super chat. We gotta go back to the freebie section. Okay. Hinaria with the Deathrite Shaman. Do I count this? It's more of a gold card. You know what? Honestly, I'm not gonna go to the gold cards. There's not many. I don't think there's many, like, gold one-drops, so we'll have to count the hybrids here. Deathrite Shaman. Black. It's a hybrid black-green for a 1/2 elf shaman. Tap. Exile target land from a graveyard. Add 1 mana of any color. You know what, lands? You know what? This card, because of this ability, this card is only good in formats with fetch lands. If there are no fetch lands, this card absolutely is straight trash. This card sees no play if there's no fetch lands in the format. Legal and Pioneer does nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, pay a black. Exile target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard. Each opponent loses 2 life. Also pay a green. Tap exile target creature card from a graveyard. You gain 2 life. So this thing locks down the graveyard. You try to do some shenanigans with your Archfiend's Vessel? Well, I can exile that thing at instant speed, and you're going nowhere with any of that combo, or any even big combos this card can single-handedly deal with. And it, like, rips all the instants and sorceries from the graveyard and just win the game by itself. It's basically a shocker every single turn. Hard to believe how much there has been power creep. I still remember when Willow the Wisp was one of the best 1-mana black creatures. Oh, we are so far away from that metagame. This is weird, putting this on the tier list. This makes everything else look like absolute stone crap. Okay, we're gonna give this like a glow or something. Hold on, I gotta give... we gotta give an outer glow to this card. There we go. It is that much better than the other cards. Like, Deathrite Shaman is like the one of 1-mana cards. It is the one! Nothing will be better on this list than this card. Nothing. Nothing. This is an open challenge to the world. There's nothing. This is arguably also the best 1-drop ever in the game. The 1-drop creature. It's competing with, what's it called? Ragavan at the moment. Yeah, this is Neo. Certainly, it basically is it's been named a 1-mana planeswalker for a reason. Okay, next up, let's go look with Blake Mambo's Shadowborn Apostle. Shadowborn Apostle, a black 1/1. A deck can have any number of Shadowborn cards named Shadowborn Apostle. Pay black, sacrifice 6 creatures named Shadowborn Apostle. Search your library for a demon creature card. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. I don't even know what demon you look for these days. Now, the upside is this card will probably get better over time, but so far it's still a little bit jank. I don't even know what you get. How many Shadowborn Apostles do you need? 6 creatures named Shadowborn Apostle. The card is actually pretty bad by itself, though. It's like really bad. Really. It's literally just a black 1/1. Better go. And you can't even get Grizzlebrand anymore. You can't even get Grizzlebrand. What are you even gonna go get? Mostly Razaketh? Yeah, maybe. You get Razaketh. Some of you have Shadowborn Apostle decks. You're showing yourselves. How reliable is this thing? And in Commander, like, when are you gonna... Like, how many Shadowborn Apostles do you need to make this even worth it? Imagine playing this turn 1 Shadowborn Apostle. Like, what are your opponents supposed to think about this? These decks are so hard to build just because of scarcity? Really? This card... Wow, there's a version. This Shadowborn Apostle is $256. That just blows my mind. Imagine trying to fill your deck up with these. That will be one of the most expensive decks in Magic the Gathering. Okay, we gotta rank this. Oh, someone's gonna get really confused when they see this. Oh no, I did rank it already. You know what, F it. Go from, Yeah, I could leave that B tier. There's worse things you can do out there, I guess. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, Vitron. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. There are some people... For example... this looks hideous to me. I would never dare touch this card and put it in my deck. A lot of people have this in their deck. I like this one better. It just looks cleaner. This thing looks like a nightmare. I don't want to wear it. I don't want to put this in my deck. Okay, next up. Yeah, I got to get 30 of those 200 Shadowborn Apostles just to flex your money more than anything. That's how it works in Magic the Gathering. You run big expensive foils, you are flexing your bank account. Okay, next up, let's go with Adeline's Forsworn Paladin. The Forsworn. It is a black 1/1 human knight with menace. Can't block this. Not well easily. Okay, black 1 generic. Tap, pay 1 life, create a treasure token. That's not bad. Instant speed ramp. Okay, black 2 generic. Target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And if mana from a treasure was spent to activate this ability, that creature also gains death touch until end of turn. This is pretty neat. It's got like a lot of abilities. You do have to hold your mana up though. I sort of like it. I can see the problem is that if you don't have your mana open, the card sucks. And if you want to tap out to play your creatures, that's going to be awful. But it gives you the ability to make other... I'll put it in the C tier. It gives you the ability to ramp. Also gives you the ability to make other creatures, like, deadly. So no one's going to even want to attack you so long as you have enough mana and Forsworn Paladin up. At least that's how I look at it. Okay, next up, we've got Platonic Liquid with ninja players riding that Changeling Outcast is in the same tier as their blood pet. That's right. Is Changeling Outcast like, what's it called? Eureka Staple? Oh, maybe it is? No, but it doesn't have... Oh, it is unblockable, right? So hold on, is this like, what's it called? Is this a Eureka staple? It's Eureka, right? Is that what I'm talking about? It's that, ninja? I mean, not no. And it is a ninja. It is a ninja, that's right. We're gonna redeeming the Outcast. Is it that good? A staple? Well... We're gonna redeem her. I'm gonna be I'll put it in the A tier for that reason. You so badly need that unblockable ninja on turn 1. All right. Outside of that, I have no idea how good this card is. So I'm not gonna give it S tier. I'm just gonna give it the synergy. You know, these cards like Putrid Imp sort of sucks by itself. You put it in a Reanimator deck, and now all of a sudden it's busted. Same thing. These are all good with the synergy of their deck. And some of these cards, they're pretty damn good even without the synergy of their deck. Well, maybe this Cauldron Familiar sucks without the synergy, but it was so strong I had to get errated. Can't remember if it got banned in Pioneer. I don't think it did, but it was a very, very strong card. Yeah, comment section helping push Stitcher's Supplier. Oh, the Stitcher's Supplier. Hold on, did anyone super chat that? Okay, no one did. Good. Okay, we have a black 1/1 zombie. When Stitcher's Supplier enters the battlefield or dies, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Now, on the surface, that just looks like crap. And upon spoiler season, not everybody thought that this was strong, but if you put this in a graveyard deck, this is Ancestral Recall. Like, if you use, for example, if you use your graveyard for Vengevine, for Gravecrawler, for zombies, anything that you reanimate, this card is insane. It's absolutely insane. It's literally, and so when it enters the battlefield, you put 3 cards. When it dies, you get 3 cards. So it's like 2 Ancestral Recalls for the price of 1 mana. You have to see it in action, though. If you don't play a graveyard-oriented deck, this card sucks. Maybe the second most strong... This sounds weird. This is maybe the second strongest card on this list. This is easy S tier. Easy S tier. Yeah, like yeah. One of your super chats was also talking about that. Was it this one? I want to defend Changeling Outcast! It's a Changeling! So you get all damages and attack triggers specific to a creature type, like a Magda or Eureka. How do you play this in a Magda deck, though? I mean, if Magda is the commander, you're playing all red, right? I don't exactly understand how that would work in the Magda deck. Unless you're tutoring out Magda to do something else. Okay, but anyway, we have redeemed the Changeling Outcast. Solid A tier. Okay, we got Mr. DJ Longhair. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning, everyone. Why Vampire the Dire Moon mid-tier? Because these cards are more exciting for, like, Vampire the Dire Moon. This is like 1 mana Death Touch. 1 mana come try to attack us because we're ready to block tier. It's the B for blocking tier. It's not that, it's good on defense, but it's not that broken. Cards above there can do broken stuff. Like they can go bananas. Apparently Changeling Outcast in the right deck, can go bananas. In the right deck. In the hands of the right player. Okay, what's next? Who hasn't got a card yet? I haven't been able to pay attention to keep track of everyone. Cataract. If you didn't get a card yet, you let me know you didn't get a card yet, and then tell me your card. Okay, we have Cataract Parasite. It's a black 1/1. Whenever an opponent draws a card, if you control a red permanent, you may have Cataract Parasite deals 1 damage to that player. That's insane! What? So, like, if you play, like, someone plays Wheel of Fortune, Time Twister, I mean, this can smoke someone for a ton of damage. Only to players? It's like Bowmasters, actually. But can't hit creatures. I like that card. I think that has a lot of potential. Does anyone know this exists? How expensive? Oh, it's expensive! Oh, yeah! It's $20! Yeah, this didn't... And it's been reprinted! Oh, man, this is a really, really good card. Do you know what? I'm certain because of its potential in Commander, this is S tier. I was about to put in A tier, but I'm sure this is so damn good in Commander. With all their stupid Ristic Studies, Time Twisters, Wheel of Fortunes, just wheel effects in general, Windfall. This has to be like an absolute staple. Yeah, I'm sure you do have to play red though, so you got to play this in your Rakdos deck. I've got this guy in my Rakdos Group Slug deck. So it's not Group Hug, it's Group Slug. Ikaya, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome. Although I know you're here all the time. I really appreciate you're a member. Okay, next up. I didn't get a card. I thought you got a card. I swear I read one of your comments. Maybe it was just a comment, though. Mortician Beetle. Are you cheating? Don't be cheated there. This is all on camera. I'm gonna make we could make a show. I could make a show out of you guys. Top 10 cheaters on Coffee and MTG. Okay, Mortician Beetle, a black 1/1 insect. Whenever a player sacrifices a creature, it may put a +1/+1 counter on Mortician Beetle. Ooh, that's interesting. Whenever a player. So it doesn't even include you. It could include somebody else. So if you may not have to be the only sack deck at the table. The picture's a little too big of this beetle. I'm gonna grab its big head. Big head. A tier. This card can go big. Very, very big. So, I mean, incidentally, in the right metagame. Are there a lot of sack decks? Oh, it sacrifices a... Oh, it has to be a creature, though. That's a little bit more narrow. Too bad it wasn't permanent. Someone sacks. Oh, it has to be creature. I thought... At first, I sort of understood it as permanent. I'm going to put in B tier. It's still fine. Still fine. If it's permanent, that would be busted. Because, you know, like, people are sacrificing treasures. That's, like, easy value from everybody. Yeah, there's a lot of I mean, that's how yeah, I know. I looked at it the exact same way. The same way. Not everyone's sacking their creatures, though. Probably we are, though. That's how it is. Calendar says, I haven't got a card yet, and I'll wrap the most expensive 1-mana creature, the Zodiac Rat. What, you mean in Secret Lair form? I guess this is the most expensive. You don't count Secret Lairs. It's a black 1/1 rat with Swamp Walk. That's it. That's it. That's all we get for this card. Man, the card's back then. D tier. That's right. It's that bad. Pathetic. Okay, we got Steve Cooper here with Banehound. Had the French vanilla in my deck for the longest time just to fill the curve. Donation chat for 2. Okay, Banehound. So you're telling me you have another D tier card? Is that that's what you're telling me, huh? It is a black 1/1 lifelink and haste. It's pretty bad. You have nothing better for your curve? That's wild. D tier. Does not even have Death Touch. Okay, two super chats getting donated here. I don't think Turiat got a card yet. Gutter Bones. 1 mana, 2/1. Enters the battlefield tapped. Oh, black 1 generic. Return Gutter Bones from your graveyard to your hand. Activate this ability only during your turn and only if an opponent lost life this turn. Great card. Great in those aggro decks. Probably pretty bad in Commander, but much better on one-on-one. Very much A tier. Like, any 1-drop that can come back over and over and over again. Like, pretty normal play pattern. You play 1-drop. Your opponent kills it. All right. Well, then what do I do after I've run out of cards in my hand? Try to get the Gutter Bones back. Replay it again. That's the circle of life for these skeleton warriors, I guess. No. Oh, we have 2 more paid for super chats. Station Disaster with the Nat Miser. Black 1/1. Each opponent's maximum hand size is reduced by 1. This is absolute BS. Does nothing. And what if I have Reliquary Tower out? What does that mean? Infinity -1? I have infinite cards in my hand. No, you have infinity -1 because I've got the Nat Miser. That's how many cards you can have in your hand. Okay, King Ginger with Blood-Soaked Champion. I think this is very similar to the other one, where you pay 1 mana for a creature and it can keep coming back. 2/1 Human Warrior. Can't block, but it's got Raid. Black 1, return Blood-Soaked Champion from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only if you attacked this turn. Only. That's fine. We attacked. And if it died in combat, it's coming back. It's coming back, baby. Coming back to A tier. I think these 2 cards work together in the same deck. Mono black aggro. Some Commander players are looking at this like it's absolute trash. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, this is the stupid thing. It can't block, but has 2 shields in the art. Here's 1, here's the 2nd. I guess they weren't meant for blocking. Those shields were meant for attacking. Okay, we got Flitter Moose with the Snarling Gorehound. Snarling, you say? It's a black 1/1 with Menace. Yeah, I don't even know if anyone wants to block this dog. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, surveil 1. Oh, this is not bad. It's not a very big creature, but it gives... Like, if you're in black, red, or just like a black-based deck, you have like some power to filter to your better cards. Also fill your graveyard, which is very relevant to most black decks. I don't know if it's going to be relevant to the dog deck, or maybe this is... I don't think this would be put into any dog deck. This would be just in addition to another deck. No, we're not into... we haven't hit an hour yet. And after an hour, we will... it will only be super chats. But until then, we got to alternate between the super chats and not. On custom card streams, after the halfway point, it's all super chats, because otherwise, the show is already going for 2 hours, for crying out loud. Okay, Snarl Gorehound. I don't know where I'm gonna put this. I see the value. We'll put in B tier. It might be A tier worthy though. It's like a really small card, though. My dog deck is red-white. Yeah, well, that bricks on this hound. For Ginka with a cursed centaur. To fill the F tier. Yeah, F this. Okay, we have a black 2/2. Comes into play, sack a creature. Oh my goodness. Gotta make room for this 1 mana 2/2. All right, it is as bad as Cabal Therapist. It is as bad. Okay, next super chat we got from Henrik. As a Dimir tribal player, I stan Changeling Outcast. You got it. Well, we did it justice. We did it justice. So with your super chat, I will donate to Akaya, the Cult's Conscript. It is a black 2/1 skeleton warrior. Enters the battlefield tapped. Pay black 1 generic. Return from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only if a non-skeleton creature died under your control this turn. So it's a little bit more narrow than the other creatures that can come back from the graveyard, but still like the same idea. I think it's valuable enough. So far we have like cards that are clearly good, cards that are situationally good, cards that are like medium, cards that are bad, cards that are unplayable. I mean, this is how the lists are today. Guys, I told you them ninja players would riot. You were not wrong. Probably there's a bunch of, all the ninja players are going crazy, just wild in the comments section, and they're all gonna edit or delete their comments after they've watched through, if they watch through. Terra 222 hasn't got one yet. Where's Terra? The shambling, look at that. King Ginger looking out for you, Terra 222. The shambling ghast. Very shambling. We got a black 1/1. When it dies, choose one. Brave the Stench. Target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Otherwise, you can search the body, create a treasure token. It's actually a good card. The fact that it can ramp you, so it's like Blood Pet, but you get to save the mana, but you also have the option to kill in X1, if possible. So I really like this card. A tier. Is it a staple in zombie decks? I think it's good. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm overrating this card. Maybe it's B tier worthy, but I mean, 1 mana to potentially block. Also, if you can like get this back from the graveyard and start sacking it some more, you get more treasure tokens. Shadowborn Apostle can be dangerous, but it's total jank. Oh, we did that one already. Yeah, it's in the jank tier. Okay, Blake Mamba, Knight of Ebon Legion. I just heard recently someone said, no, a Merfolk user in the community said they played against a scam opponent who had Knight of Ebon Legion in their deck. It's a black 1/2. It's a vampire knight. It gets +3/+3 and gains death touch until end of turn. At the beginning of your end step, if a player lost 4 more life, you put a +1/+1 counter on Knight of Ebon Legion. This has been like a 4 of in every mono black aggro deck ever. It's one of the better mono black 1 mana mono black cards. Easily S tier. It doesn't even need to be in a knight or vampire deck. Like, the card can get big just by itself in just some sort of aggro shell of some sort. Zeus with Persistent Specimen. We got a black 1/1 skeleton. A lot of skeletons on this show. This guy's missing the jaw. Well, the jaw's over here. It's been floating in their face. Black 2 generic. Return persistent specimens from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. 2 things I don't like about this. First, 3 mana for this ability. That sort of sucks. And also, it's 3 mana and it comes into play tapped, so it's not even a very good blocker. Ugh, but is it worse than Blood Pet? That's like, is it Blood Pet worthy? This is like wasting my mana worthy, the way I look at it. 3 mana is a lot. 2 mana, it's not even a big creature. It's not even that big of a creature to spend 3 mana on it. Well, it's a common. What do we want? What are we expecting? What are we expecting? Okay, we got Mario with Fairy Dream Thief. Oh. It is a 1 mana 1/1 Fairy Warlock with flying, and whenever Fairy Dream Thief enters the battlefield, surveil 1. Look at the top card of your library, you may put it into your hand. Also, pay a black 2 generic, exile Fairy Dream Thief from your graveyard. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. You get some stuff out of this card. I'm not gonna lie. It's not like the most worthless thing of all time. It just doesn't get me that excited. I guess we can give it like B tier. Not the most exciting card. Okay. Greedy freebooter. Okay, that will be the last freebie of today. Unless more cards get donated, which sometimes happens. We got a black 1/1 human pirate. When greedy freebooter dies, you scry 1 and you create a treasure token. Oh! That's sort of in line with that last card. How special is this that I give it like A tier? I'm demoting it to B tier. This one and this one. I don't like it so much. I don't like it in the same rank as all these other cards. Everything here is like outright more powerful. These cards are like, okay, I intend on blocking, and I'm gonna get some value. That seems to be in the right range here. Yeah, it's gonna die by blocking, usually. Okay, next super chat we got from John, from Valentine Dina Vane. Valentin Dina Vane is a black 1/1 menace lifelink. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. When you do, you may pay 2. If you do that too, create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. You can also turn it over. You also have access to Lizette, Dean of the Root. This is a green 2 generic 4/4 human druid. And whenever you gain life, you may pay 1. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and those creatures gain trample until end of turn. This is a banger card. I mean, the thing is, you just get so much value out of this one thing. So for on earlier for earlier turns, you can play Valentin, and on later turns, when you have a big board, you can play Lizette. I think this card is great. S tier. I can't verify that it is super outright powerful, but frankly, compared to a lot of this other stuff on this list today, it looks pretty good. Larsa, we did Knight of Ebon Legion already. Thank you very much for your super chat. Knight of Ebon Legion was great. It's this one, right? Yeah. It made S tier. Because we've done this one already, we are going to donate to... Who wants the donation, people? You lie! You absolutely lie. Are you lying? No, I'm thinking of someone else. Okay, Arcanus Ultra. Ravenous Squirrel. What? All the Gruul hybrids are S tier? Are you serious? Okay, we got a, It's not Gruul. This is Golgari. Golgari 1/1 Squirrel. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact or creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Ravenous Squirrel. Black, green, 1 generic, sacrifice an artifact or a creature. You can gain 1 life and draw a card. There's also a banger card. I've actually seen this in play. If you can create a lot of food or a lot of treasures, this thing is... this thing is nuts. It's also very creepy. Wow, it's like a mongoose, but it's really a squirrel. It's a honey... No, it's the squirrel with the heart of a honey badger. Definitely S tier. I've actually lost this card before. It's no joke. Drawing cards off of this thing is busted. Okay, next up. How about Circular Vultures, says Kagan. Thank you very much for your super chat. Vultures? Circular Vault? No, Circular V. No, something vultures. What is this? Circling. Oh, it wasn't you. It's all me. It wasn't your fault at all. Okay, we have a black 3/2 bird. That's it. It's just a bird. It actually has been errated from birds to 1 bird, which actually made more flavor sense back then, but I guess critically it does not. Okay, flying. During your upkeep, remove the top creature card in your graveyard from the game or bury circling vultures. Oh god, I don't even want to, like, learn. I do not want to learn how to order my graveyard as things go to it. Someone board wipes me, I'm like, what goes on top? There is, like, a real way to... I think you have to keep track of, like, when things enter the battlefield, because that's, like, the same order of when they're going to leave the battlefield. Circling Vultures is in your hand. You may discard it. Play this ability as an instant. During your upkeep, remove the top creature card or you bury it. This card's actually just stone cold unplayable. Like, it's not even useful as a 1/1. This is like a really bad Delver of Secrets. D tier. Circle around here. Okay, next up, we got Balder. Balder is back. Vampire of the Dire Moon seems strong and is nostalgic. It's over here. We got, like, so we got already the question, why is Vampire of the Dire Moon a B tier? Because it's like only really, it's not a good attacker. I made a vampire deck with Vampire of the Dire Moon. Let's get this. I made a vampire deck with Vampire of the Dire Moon, and it was so bad at attacking. Like, no one's blocking this, and they don't even care. I gain 1 life, and I like hit my opponent for a single point of damage. And like in the long run, it's just not worth it. So it's actually way better on blocking duty, but then like it's not very exciting, you know. Okay, next up, let's look at... Oh, no, sorry. With that, we have to donate that super chat because we already talked about that card. All right, let's give it to Islarf. I'd like to advocate a promotion for Snarling Gorehound. It's amazing for decks like Tormod the Desecrator and Sidisi Brood Tyrant. We already looked at that one. Next one, Arrow. Stalactite. Stalker. It's a black 1/1 Goblin Rogue with Menace. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Stalactite Stalker. When is descending? You descend if a permanent card was put in your graveyard from anywhere. That is insane! I mean, it's turn 1 fetch, Stalactite Stalker. It's a 1-mana 2/2. It's already so much better than this Carnophage. Carnophage down here, 1-mana 2/2. You gotta pay a life every turn or it's tapped. This is all gravy. And we haven't even read through the whole card yet. Play a black 2 generic, sacrifice it. Target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, where X is Stalactite Stalker's power. This is fantastic. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna say this is S tier worthy, but this is damn good. This is definitely well, it's sad. This card is clearly better than some of these A tier cards, but I don't want to give it S tier. Okay, next up, we've got Kagan. Kagan is back as well. Okay, this was from the first set I collected. Ecstatic Awakener. Is there a card here? Ecstatic Awakener! Alright, we got a black 1/1 human wizard. It's a black 2 generic, sacrifice another creature. Oh, welcome to the game! This set has been out for like, what, a year? 2 years? How long? When did this set come out? Copyright 2021. Oh my god, time is flying too fast. One day they came out with Midnight Hunt, and next day, I don't know, it's 2024. Okay, draw a card, then transform Ecstatic Awakener, activate only once each turn. It's a 4/4 creature. Is that it? We spent that much time and resources. We had to sack a creature for this, for crying out loud. I had to pay 3 mana and sack a creature. We did draw a card, though. I'm not particularly excited, to be honest. B tier. Too much work. Too much work, in my opinion. Okay, Blake Mamba. Not enough cats. Warehouse Tabby. Warehouse Tabby? Okay, Warehouse Tabby is a black 1/1 cat. It's a creature. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the back, an enchantment, not an artifact, not a permanent, not a creature. It's got to be literally an enchantment. Create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block. Also, getting enchantments in the graveyard is really hard. Like, especially if you're black. It's not like you're something. Oh, it's for rolls. Yeah, that's a way of like cheating an enchantment in the graveyard, I guess. Okay, black 1 generic. Warehouse Tabby gains Death Touch until end of turn. So this is like an even more expensive way to get Death Touch I don't even like this enchantment thing. C tier. This is worse at blocking than all this other stuff. It's good in Wilds of Eldraine. What, the draft? Draft format, I guess. Okay, Platonic Liquid. Another one to take a look at is Blood Celebrant. Didn't we do this one? Isn't this Blood Celebrant? Isn't like Blood... Oh, no. Oh, this one. It isn't like Blood Pet. It's a mana filter. It also lets you set your life as low as you want. Oh, yeah, this is this one you want to take another look at. So we have the so we can finally enable that Death Shadow, or what's it called? We can also win with. There are some cards that are like if you're at 1 life at your upkeep, you win the game. So Blood Celebrant could be a combo card in that way. Oh no, but you can't just like pay an arbitrary amount of life. You need as much mana as you want to pay life. Otherwise, it doesn't work that way. And it's only filtering mana. Where did I put Blood Celebrant? Probably B tier. Or did I put it too low? Oh, I put it in C tier. You can regenerate. You can generate black. Oh yeah, that's right. You make a mana. Okay. You know what? I'm sold. I'm sold. We can put in A tier. There we go. We'll put it even right beside what's it called? The changeling. And we'll put the cat right near the blood pet. Yeah, that's right. You pay 1 black, you pay a life, then you can get a black. It doesn't say you have to choose something that isn't black. You can just get the same damn thing. So you go for 1 mana, for 2 mana. 1 to cast this card, another to activate the ability. You can go from 40 to 1. Lose more life at your own leisure. Okay, next up we've got Blake Mamba's Zagoth Mamba. So as is in your name, need more Mambas in this game. Was it Zagoth Mamba? It sounded like a new card. Black 1/1. It's a Nightmare Snake. Whenever this creature mutates, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2. This card's terrible. Does anyone play with mutate cards in 2024? This is like a mechanic that was ridiculously too complicated for no reason whatsoever, and is sort of forgotten. I don't know, even competitive players don't want to play with any mutate cards, and if they do, they're not even mutating very often. Mutate is Zagoth? It's a Zagoth. It's a Zagoth Mamba. Just the one that ramps is played. Mutate was like it's just a weird mechanic. The idea is good, but the execution was just garbage. Like, they just screwed that up so badly. So anyway, for that reason, Zagoth Mamba, if I want to get value out of you, which isn't even that good, I need to play with mutate cards. You go to the D tier. You can mutate down there with everybody else. Was Sleeper Agent a mutate card? No, I think you're just suggesting something. Sleeper Agent, what was that? Mutate card? Oh, you're suggesting a card for the show. We did that one already. Okay, King Ginger with Dockside Chef. Surprisingly good. All right, let's take a look at Dockside Chef. Is a black 1 too. Pay a black 1 generic, sack an artifact or a creature, draw a card. Actually, I like that. I like that. It's good value. I like the picture too. Some guy with his noodles. Looks like there's an eyeball. It's an eyeball in their noodles. Where to put this? I don't know if it's it's either A tier or B tier. It's definitely not C tier. There's some real garbage down there. Tentatively, we'll put this in the B tier. I do like what it does though, because like in response to, maybe I can give this A tier, because in response to removal, either to your artifacts or your creatures, you can actually get value out of it. There's nothing wrong with paying 2 mana, sacking it in response, and drawing a card. Okay, Blake Mamba says, the show must go on. We got the Dread Malkin. In case you want to sack your planeswalkers. Dread. Black 1/1 zombie cat. A lot of zombie cats out there with menace. We have a black 2 generic activated ability. Sacrifice another sacrifice another creature or planeswalker. Put 2+1/+1 counters on Dread Malkin. Want to sack my planeswalker? When is that ever going to be good? Like, you could have blocked the creature that was killing the planeswalker, but instead you just let it die, or it was in danger, so you sacrificed it to put 2 counters on this thing. That sounds awful. It is 2 counters, though. 2 counters is 2 counters. I'll give it C tier. Like, it's cheap. I can see the sacking another creature thing being good. You know, chump block with a creature, sack the creature to your Dread Malkin. Blocking with a planeswalker, first, that doesn't exist, but also that doesn't sound like good value. 4 mana, 3/3. Oh no, hey, 4 mana, and it can get bigger over time. If you got a lot of mana, you gotta spend that mana on something. Don't get me wrong. King Ginger's Dread Wanderer. Oh yeah, this guy. Okay, black 2/1. Enters the battlefield tapped. 3 mana, return Dread Wanderer from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only any time you could cast a sorcery, and only if you have 1 or few cards in hand, which is exactly the time that you would want to activate this ability. Like, we look at 3 mana, oh, like, when are you going to have 3 mana? Well, in this case, you've got, like, no cards left in your hand. So who cares? You have nothing to lose here. Spend 3 mana to get this guy back. A tier. Ryan! The $2 super chat, which means you couldn't write words. Oh god, how far buried is this card? Ryan. Okay, I found your super chat. Now can I find your comments? You have no comments! How could you not comment with your super chat? Alright, we're gonna donate it. We're gonna donate, Ryan. Thank you very much for your super chat. So we are gonna give it to Lucas. Apparently Lucas is claiming they haven't got one yet. Okay, haven't got one yet. Thrall Parasite. Did we do that one? That sounds so familiar. Oh, we didn't do this one. It's familiar because I once made an Extort deck. It's a black 1/1 Thrall with Extort. So you can pay a black and a white as you cast your spells. And if you do, each opponent loses life and you gain that much life. Tap, pay 2 life, remove a counter from target non-land permanent. This is a funny card. Like, it's unique. There's not a lot of cards that let you remove counters from non-land permanents. Like, you can, like, slowly, if a planeswalker put themselves down to 1 loyalty, you can remove the last one and to kill off the planeswalker. You could mess with proliferate a little bit. You can, it's not like super impactful, but it has a very, very unique prospect to this thing. I don't know how high I would give this, but I sort of want to give it B tier. It's a very unique ability. Okay, next up, we've got Blake Mamba. Thank you very much for the super chat, Blake Mamba, with the Drain Pipe Vermin. Drain Pipe? We got a rat. Stinky rat. Okay, we got a black 1/1 rat. When it dies, you can pay a black. If you do, target opponent discards a card. Garbage. I gotta pay mana when it's dead. I don't like to pay mana when something dies. When it dies, I want it to give me something. We have to spend more mana into this thing to take something away. You know what? F it. It's going to the D tier. It can hang out with this other stupid rat with Swamp Walk. That's what it can do around here. 1 died, one is unblockable. Okay, next super chat it's the Blake Mamba show, apparently. Whoops. It's the Blake Mamba show. We have next Typhoid Rats. You like your rats. You got the rat deck. Okay, black 1/1 with Death Touch. That's it. So that is in the blocking tier. We put that in the blocking tier. I don't even know where to find room for this thing. Well, we'll put it right next to Mortician Beetle, I guess. There we go. If anyone can make that out. Okay, also from Blake Mamba. Last one. The Changeling Outcast is also... It also is technically a cat. I think we've done Changeling Outcast. It's an A tier. And for that reason, we are now going to... We'll give that to the freebie section. Okay, Protopon needs recognition. Where's Protopon? No, Toads. What? Where's Protopon's thing? Protohat. Check out Thought Picker Witch. Wait, you didn't need recognition, Protopon? Okay, we got Thought Picker Witch. We have a black 1/1 human wizard. Pay 1, sack a creature. Look at the top 2 cards of target opponent's library, then remove 1 of them from the game. Ooh. This can sort of lock someone out, in a way. You need a lot of creatures, but you'll manipulate someone's library. It's basically Fate Seal. It's a really complicated Fate Seal, to be honest. You could do it with Jace the Mind Sculptor. Could do it with Thought Picker Witch and like a bunch of creatures going to their death to manipulate people's libraries. Look at the top 2 cards of target opponent's library. If you have enough mana and creatures, I guess you can make this thing work. It's a unique effect. I like it for that reason. I'm going to put in the B tier. I could be wrong here. This could be just stone cold trash and it should be in the C tier. But very, very unique. Okay, and we've got last super chat from Kagan. Thank you very much for your super chat. The initiates of the Ebon Hand. Initiates of the Ebon Hand. The set Fallen Empires had a weird charm despite being pretty bad. You don't say. We have a black 1/1 cleric. Pay 1, add a black to your mana pool. If 4 or more is spent in this way, during 1 turn, bury Initiates of Ebon Hand. Like what? We can't go overboard with this? We're filtering colorless for black. Play this ability as a mana source. You don't say. That big eye. I don't like it. D tier. Okay, Chris says I ain't got one yet. Slitherhead. Okay, we're gonna end the show on you. Slitherhead. It is Golgari for a 1/1 plant zombie with Scavenge of 0. I don't know how to interpret this card. Is this good or is it terrible? Pay 0. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to this card's power on target creature. So it like starts bad, but it can get really big. How does it exile this card from your graveyard? Oh no, you have to exile this card from the graveyard. Put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to this card's power. Oh, you're only gonna put 1. Okay, forget it. I thought it was like, oh, we can scavenge other... I remember there was a card that's like, other creatures get scavenge. And everything is equal to its power. Scavenge seems like a modular if exiled. Yeah, it's like a really crappy modular. And that's it! This is our tier list for every almost every black 1-mana creature in the game. Do you believe in the tier list? Do you disagree? Are you gonna fight for other cards' right to be higher? Like the Changeling Outcast? You can always let me know in the comments section below. But as usual, my coffee crew, every show has to end at some point, but there's always another one, and that's why you gotta show up weekdays at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. For everyone who loves to support the show, I thank you so much. Everyone who is supporting as a member on YouTube, a patron on Patreon, or you super chat to be part of the show, and also sometimes help donate to other users here. And we gotta thank everyone. The coffee crew that shows up in the morning. We got Platonic Liquid, Reed, Jess, Arrow, Lynn, Eric, David, Samson, Toad, Steve, Sandwich, Boulder, Mario, Stanley, Eric. Who else do we have? Blake Mamba, because you guys are the coffee crew. We got Dinglebag, Mr. Deadhead, Arcanus, Paul Rog, Christopher B, Restian Serpentine. You guys are the show. We got more Chris's and Hyenas and Protopon. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up them coffees, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.